This is the biggest upcoming offseason in Chicago Bears history. And yes, I did say that last year, but this one, it's gonna hit different. And I'm super excited about this one because Ryan Poles has put the Bears in a position again to trade back the #1 overall pick with a team that needs a franchise quarterback and potentially trade to a team that might have the #1 pick again next year. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to this episode of Just Another Year Chicago. My name is Nick Rohde, and as always, thanks for tuning in. I have full faith in Ryan Poles and company in order to make this offseason putting the Bears in a Super Bowl contender position. So the draft order for the Chicago Bears at the moment stands: #1 overall via the Carolina Panthers, #5 overall, #71 overall, #106 overall, #132 overall via the Philadelphia Eagles, and #140 overall. 6 picks at the moment would be the lowest amount of picks that Ryan Poles has had in a draft since becoming the general manager of the Chicago Bears, and I think he's going to get a couple more. Not this year, but next year too. He's also going to be super busy in free agency. I'm going to be doing a video next week on that about who I want Ryan Poles to use the 80 million plus cap that we have at the moment on. But right now, we got a mock draft, and it's going to be one of the best drafts ever in franchise history. I had way too much fun making this video for you guys, and I hope you enjoy it. But before we begin, thank you to Freshie Organic Tequila Seltzer for sponsoring today's episode. Make sure that you go to the QR code that's up on the screen right now in order to learn more about Freshie and how you can get 99 calories of total goodness during the holiday season. But throw a like on this video if you want to see this mock draft happen. Put your thoughts in the comment section below about what you want to do in a trade back situation for the Chicago Bears. Looking forward to hearing from you guys. So what's the mock trade that I'm doing to start off this draft? I did a video on this. Some people called me crazy. Some people loved it. Raiders fans hated it, but I'm trading with the Las Vegas Raiders for their 2024 first, which is currently number 11 at the moment, a 2024 second, which is currently 42nd at the moment. Remember, the Bears don't have a second round pick because of the Montez Sweat trade. Getting Max Crosby to come along like they did with DJ Moore last year, along with Las Vegas's 2025 first rounder and a 2025 fourth rounder. I think Ryan Poles can get it done because the Raiders are an absolute disaster and need to build this thing from the ground up. And what better way to do it than with a franchise quarterback? And there are generational type quarterbacks like Caleb Williams in the draft right now that could be great for Las Vegas. So what better way to do it than to trade with the Chicago Bears? Yes, you lose Max Crosby, but the Raiders save over $50 million in cap over the next 2 seasons. So after the trade, not only do we have Max Crosby, but the Bears still have the #5 overall pick, the #11 overall pick via the Las Vegas Raiders, the #42 overall pick via the Las Vegas Raiders, #71 overall, #106, #132, and #140. So now I got 7 picks, only one more, but 4 of them being in the top 75. And now before I go into the players that I'm going to draft, we have Max Crosby now for the next 2 years that because of this contract that he extended through 2026. On top of that, the Bears still need to go out and get a wide receiver to a center and a defensive tackle, but the edges are dominant and young and under contract for a long time. So to start things off with the #5 overall pick in this upcoming draft, in this mock draft, I am taking UCLA defensive lineman Latu Latu with my first pick. The 6'5", 265-pound defensive tackle / edge is one of the best defensive lineman prospects in the NCAA right now. His exact frame, athleticism, slimness, playing ability is what Ryan Poles is looking for as an athletic guy on this roster. He is the #1 ranked defensive lineman in this upcoming draft according to NFLDraftBuzz.com, and he scored a 90.8 out of 100 grade overall, the best that it gets. And he is ranked almost as high as it goes in literally every single category compared to other defensive linemen. A 4.7 40 time for a guy that big up the middle is almost unheard of. 60 out of 100 tackling, 98 out of 100 pass rush, 83 out of 100 run defense. This guy would be an absolute upgrade and an instant success in this defense, and that is what would put them over the top. Rest in peace to opposing quarterbacks and running backs. His stats also speak volumes. Within 12 games with UCLA this year, he has 49 total tackles, 21 and a half of them being tackles for loss, which I have never seen a stat that high before. 13 sacks, oh my God, 2 interceptions for a defensive lineman, 2 pass deflections, and 2 forced fumbles. Mother of God, how is this guy legally able to play football being that good? What more do you want at a big, long, strong defensive lineman who is faster and stronger than any interior lineman, according to the NCAA? I mean, he absolutely mauls over guys, according to his highlights, and creating massive mismatches. He can play both in the 2 and 3 point stand. So you throw him in the interior to make those guys tired up the middle. They're not running the ball, forced to run to the outside. Guess where he's going to be? Over in the outside. An absolute dual threat, and that's what you need in this defense. Insane burst off the snap, which is really good, especially going against offensive linemen, making him hard to stop at all times. And oh yeah, he can drop back into coverage and be athletic and be a threat as a defensive lineman. What can't this guy do? Did you still think I was going to take a quarterback with my first pick? And for everyone that thinks that Chicago needs a quarterback, Ryan Poles literally said 3 weeks ago that he would have to be blown away by any sort of quarterback prospect in order to move on from Justin Fields. Fields is also under contract next year, has a 5th-year option, which is going to be $20 million, and then they can franchise tag him if they want. Keeping him cheap and under the cap, that's the goal. So let's go back to the draft. At pick number 11, I'm going with Xavier Legette from South Carolina. The 6'3", 225-pound wide receiver, not tight end, wide receiver, with a 4.29 40 time is a freak of nature. He is faster and stronger than Marvin Harrison Jr. in nearly the same height, and we need a big body wide receiver. No denial about that. DJ Moore and Darnell Mooney are both barely 6 feet tall, and Equanimeous St. Brown is not the answer as a big body wide receiver moving forward, though I love him for his run blocking ability. According to our friends over at NFLDraftBuzz.com, Legette has an 88.8 out of 100 grade, making him the number 3 wide receiver prospect in this upcoming draft. I personally think he's a 90 plus, and I'm going to break down why. His quarterback QBR when they target Legette is 128.6, higher than Marvin Harrison Jr. Hands 87 out of 100, also higher than Marvin Harrison Jr. Short routes 89 out of 100, medium routes 93 out of 100, deep balls 94 out of 100, and blocking 51 out of 100. All of those are very impressive, especially with his stats that he put up at South Carolina this year. In 12 games, he had 71 receptions for 1,255 receiving yards, having over 125.5 yards per game and averaging 17.7 yards per catch. I'm not a big math guy, but that's a first down every single time he touched the ball. 7 receiving touchdowns as well as makes him a threat, and because of Marvin Harrison Jr., he is ranked at pick number 11 for the Las Vegas Raiders. But we're going to take that pick and make him a Chicago Bear. He's also putting up similar stats as Harrison Jr., and on top of it, he's playing in a very tough division in the NCAA. What more do you want than a big-bodied wide receiver who can run a 4.29 40 time, which is the fastest out of the top 10 wide receivers, by the way. He's fast. He's faster than Darnell Mooney. He's stronger than Marvin Harrison and stronger than DJ Moore, arguably almost the same size as Cole Kmet. Very strong hands that allow him to not have any drops, insanely good downfield with his vision, which is what we need on a deep ball, and a large frame that allows him to beat DBs and win 50-50 balls. Huge run blocker as well, something that Chicago needs to replace Equanimeous St. Brown with. Yeah, I'm all in on Legette. Number 2 at pick 42, thanks to the Las Vegas Raiders, and I am addressing the need at center for the Chicago Bears, taking Cedric Van Pran. The Georgia center is a projected 2nd-round pick. Why not take him at 42? And I can see why. 6'4", 310-pound center, which is absolutely massive, is an athlete built very slim and strong and would be a great piece to solidify the offensive line. Our good friends over at NFLDraftBuzz.com gave him an 85.5 out of 100 grade, making him the number 2 center prospect in this upcoming draft. A 5.27 40 time makes him quick to be able to go upfield on certain runs, but also he has a pass blocking of 88 out of 100 and run blocking 83 out of 100. Van Pran is the guy that Chicago needs again to solidify that young offensive line and protect Justin Fields for years to come. He's also a very reliable player, not being injured literally ever in college, which is great to hear. He also has some of the highest football IQ according to scouts for all centers in the upcoming draft, and that size and athletic ability is no joke. With the 4th pick in the 3rd round at pick number 71 for the Chicago Bears, I'm going to the other side of the ball, and I am taking Andrew Makuka from Clemson University. A projected late 3rd round pick from Clemson, the 6', 195-pound safety is a hard-hitting and fast ball player that'd be a great replacement for Eddie Jackson. NFL Draft Buzz has him actually ranked ranked as one of the highest safeties in the draft at 84.4 out of 100, making him the number 4 overall safety prospect at the moment, and I can see why. One of the fastest safeties in this draft with a 4.33 40 time, a ball hawk with that speed, and also hard-hitting ability is pretty scary. Tackling 65 out of 100, run defense 64 out of 100, coverage 75 out of 100, zone 72 out of 100, and man 78 out of 100. 42 total tackles for Clemson this year, 28 being solo, with 6 pass deflections so far and 1 fumble recovery. He covers a lot of space, not only being 6 foot, but also that 4.33 40 time. Very fantastic at reading quarterbacks' eyes, according to scouts, not allowing anything to get by him. He gets in your face, he lets you know that he's around, and he's great against the run, not afraid to fly in and make a tackle in the backfield. Lean, athletic, and durable. I like this guy a lot. With my 5th pick in the 4th round at pick number 106 for the Chicago Bears, I've talked about this guy before, but I'm taking Cade Stover, tight end from The Ohio State University. Yeah, it's not Marvin Harrison Jr., but he's a hell of a tight end, would be a great pairing with Cole Kmet. 6'4", 251 pounds, runs a 4.55 40 time. He is a reliable big and could be a huge pairing with Cole Kmet. According to our friends over at NFL Draft Buzz, he has an 82.8 out of 100 overall rating, and his QBR when targeted is 133.5. Doesn't get much higher than that. 89 out of 100 hands, 85 out of 100 short routes, 86 out of 100 medium routes, and 89 out of 100 deep routes for a tight end, along with 67 out of 100 blocking. That is a big man with a lot of athletic skill that could be snagged in the 4th round to solidify the tight end. Scouts love him for his great size and speed combination. They also love that he moves at ease for his size and believes that he's NFL ready. He breaks tackles due to his very strong legs and upper body and moves. Nearly unbeatable in contested catches as well. I would love Ryan Poles to pick this guy up. With my 6th pick in the 5th round at number 132, thanks to the Philadelphia Eagles, and I'm going with Tyler Guyton from Oklahoma. The 6'7", 327-pound offensive tackle is a beast in great depth. NFLDraftBuzz.com has him at an 82.4 out of 100 grade with 77 out of 100 pass blocking and 67 out of 100 run blocking. Great speed at 5.17 40 time for a big man like that. Can be great on the run or even used in the red zone as maybe a fridge type player, but he covers a lot of ground when he is doing the run game, and he's quick to pick up edges. He's very smooth with his feet and has strong hands. And finally, my last pick in the 5th round at pick number 140, I'm going with the defensive side of the ball again. And I'm taking Tyron Hooper, linebacker from Mizzou. This dude is crazy athletic. 6'2", 221 pounds, runs a 4.49 40 time, but he can jump, he can literally fly. He can tackle anybody that's in his way and covers a lot of field at all times. He could be a great special teams gunner for considering how big he is and his mean personality when on the field. NFL Draft Buzz gave him an 82.2 out of 100 grade with 53 out of 100 tackling, 76 out of 100 pass rush, 69 out of 100 rush defense, and 57 out of 100 coverage. He has 55 total tackles this year for Mizzou, 6 being for loss, with 3 sacks and 3 pass deflections. Great at taking on tight ends up the middle or as a special teams player. Covers a lot of speed, a lot of space with his speed and vision. Gets to the backfield at ease and is a leader being a captain. Whew. That's a lot of draft. But I really think that if Ryan Poles goes after these guys, which they all meet the athletic need, they all meet the need overall of spaces that the Chicago Bears need to fill, and they'll be on rookie contracts. I really think that Ryan Poles is going to pull the trigger on at least some of these guys, but this would be a dream mock draft for me. Still getting Max Crosby, a next year number first again, picking up that second for this year in order to take the center, Cedric Van Block that we need, and overall, very excited. Put your thoughts in the comment section below about what you would do in the upcoming draft. But with that, thank you very much for joining this episode of Just Another Year Chicago. My name is Nick Rohde, and as always, bear down, baby.